No, you're not allowed to use your phone. You cannot sleep here. You cannot listen to music. Cannot eat here. Not talk to each other. You can't use your phone. Stop clicking pictures. You can't do this. You can't do that. Oof. Airline is so big. There are people around you who are probably maybe going to travel in your airline, and they don't want to, for them to click pictures and then put it on social media and make stories out of it. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're someone who's watching me for the first time and are pretty new to my channel, hi, my name is Twinkle, and I'm a former flight attendant who was flying for airlines like Kingfisher and Qatar Airways for over a decade now. And if you want to know more about me, you can check out the playlists on my channel where you can find different topics and you can choose from the one which you want to watch. Apart from that, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and do not forget to press the bell notification icon so you never miss a new video by me. In this video, I'm going to tell you all those rules, restrictions, or whatever you want to call it, which as a cabin crew you're not supposed to do in flight or on duty. But as a Qatar Airways cabin crew, there are some very surprising restrictions or rules that you're supposed to follow in flight that I'm sure you have no idea about. And if you're keen to know what are they, then I would highly recommend you to stay back and enjoy the whole video. Watch it until the end. Now, before I start telling you that what are those things which we are not allowed to do in flight as a Qatar Airways cabin crew, I want to tell you that there can be things which are sort of different or similar with other Middle East airlines or airlines in other countries, but I can assure you that there are going to be a few rules that you must have never heard before. Rule number one being you cannot talk to each other. I mean, yes, you can talk to each other, but not in any other language than English. Reason being, you all know Qatar Airways has cabin crew from all around the world. We have more than 135 nationalities working in the airline, and when you work with the people from different nationalities on board together in a flight, forget that fact as well. When you talk to a person, we're talking to any other person in some other language. When you have a person standing next to you who cannot understand that language, it comes across to be very rude. They can think that you're probably bitching or gossiping about them, and it comes across as very, very negative. So to avoid this situation where it creates stress or create conflicts or creates that sense of negativity amongst the cabin crew as a team, they have come up with this rule that you cannot talk to each other professionally or personally or whatever in any other language than English. Also, there can be cases, when in a galley, like in an area, there are 4 people who are working together, and out of 4 people, if 3 of them are Indians and 1 is non-Indian, and 3 of them, because you tend to look at each other because you're from the same country, you tend to talk to each other in your local language, but you have to think about the 4th person who does not understand your language, and it can become really, really annoying for that other person, and it can actually make the other person really upset, creating conflict, stress, and miscommunication. It is really annoying. I have myself been through this case. I was in a flight, and we all know flights in Korea. Going to Korea is or Japan has people from the same nationalities. Simple reason being, we bid for the flights we want to go, and of course if we are Indians, we want to come to Indian subcontinent, so we are all full with Indians. So in a flight to Korea, China, or Japan, or all of these specific destinations, you will basically find crew from that country itself, and they would obviously know each other's language, and they can communicate with each other in that language. So it gets very difficult for me as a person if I don't understand their language and they're talking and chilling in their own language. It is very, very, very rude to talk in your own language in front of a person who doesn't understand your language. So that is why we cannot talk in any other language than English in a flight as a cabin crew of Qatar Airways. Qatar Airways cabin crew cannot listen to music in flight. Yes, You cannot listen to music, or for that matter read any books also, or magazines or newspapers, anything which is a part of entertainment, when of course you're done with your services, because you have a lot of time in a few flights which are ultra long haul and night flights where people eat and sleep, and you have a lot of time in between to cover. And when people are sleeping, crew tend to get bored and they indulge in activities like reading magazines or newspapers, or probably listening to music to kind of entertain themselves. But as per the airline and rules, they feel that, and it is true, that your attention towards gauging passengers, medical emergencies or any emergency situations gets decreased, gets diverted, your focus gets diverted, and therefore they do not recommend anyone in a flight to listen to music. Forget phones also, or iPods or any other device, they just do not want crew to get indulged in all these things which can actually take their attention from anything but safety. Now when we're talking about crew getting bored in ultra long haul flights, and when they have time and you cannot talk in your own local language, you cannot even read and listen to music, what will you do? You will talk to each other probably in English. But here is another rule. Qatar Airways cabin crew is not allowed to gossip or do pitching about the airline or their personal life, or anything which comes across as complaining or whining, or talking about their sad, upsetting personal lives or anything of that matter. You are not allowed to discuss that. Reason being, there has been instances where the last row passengers, customers have heard stories of cabin crew, and it has come to the company's attention that they received things like these or information like these. There were checkers or there were auditors who were flying, and they heard people gossiping and complaining about the company or the roster, and it brings a very, very bad impression to the customers, because we as brand ambassadors of the airline, if we are talking bad mouthing about the airline, it does not really leave a very nice impression. So keeping that thing into mind, you are not allowed to gossip or bitch or any of bad mouthing about the company or about the service or rosters. Now when we are talking about devices and entertainment factor, I know you all are waiting for the usage of phones. Are we allowed to use phones? Because apparently there's been a lot of information on the internet that we cannot. So let me tell you, officially we cannot use phones, mobile phones in flight. You cannot. It is not allowed to. There are crew been using phones and using other devices such as cameras and stuff in flight for recording, for social media. It is not allowed, guys. And if it comes into company's attention, they can be in trouble. So you cannot use your phones even if you're in your rest period. Now you all know that crew sleeps in flight. In ultra long haul flights we have rest timings, and we have our own secret sweet little bedrooms in the aircraft itself, and even in that period of time we cannot use our phones. We can of course put alarms, we are not in passenger view, you can do a lot of things, but these things as per the airline are not allowed. Why? Because there were people who were indulging in using internet, they were using the phones to again tarnish the image of the airline. Officially, as per the airline, you are not allowed to use your phones, whether in flight, in uniform, or even in your transport, whether it is in Doha, in company transport, or even in outstation. You're not supposed to use your phones, and your seniors, your crew, anyone can actually notice this and ask you, or probably even report you for this kind of activities, because this is strictly not allowed in Qatar Airways. Now you all must be thinking that there are so many images on the internet. There are people who are making videos in flight using cameras, using phones, and so on and so forth. So let me tell you guys, it is not allowed, and of course the company cannot keep an eye on each and everything. But there are crew, there are supervisors, there are auditors, there are checkers, there are customers who can see this, who can report this to the company, and trust me, company takes a very strict action against all this. This is against their policy. However, there is social media policy which was revised, and there were people who were using phones to create magic moments, or they were creating moments with customers wherein they were kind of promoting the airline, like with celebrities or with customers, giving them cakes and making a happy moment, birthday cakes, celebration of anniversaries and stuff like that. So it comes under promoting the airline and their services and the kind of crew and the environment and the happy moment that they create on board for you, and how much they care for the customer. Keeping that thing in mind, it was allowed, but it was the iPad or the camera, you know, these sort of things, there was a leverage on this, but not for your personal use, that you can sort of use the phones to kind of tarnish the image of the company. Because if you're putting pictures and if you're putting stories and things with uniform on, and you're kind of tagging the airline and showing that, you know, this happens in this airline, this is something which the airline does not really support. So therefore they do not allow you to use any phones and devices, whether it's in flight or outside, like once you're done in your flight, when in uniform basically. Also there were instances that people thought that in the crew rest area, because I'm sure if you don't really know that crew rests in flight, only in flights that which are ultra long haul and they are supposed to have their official rest, they rest in flight, and there they use their phones, they use the internet to surf and all, using the internet which is there for passengers. So company got to know about it, and there were strict actions and all that jazz. So it was also a rule which came up that you're not supposed to use your phones and internets in flight, even if it's for free for everyone. You're not supposed to use it, because company can track all of this, and once you get tracked, there is just no looking back. There is no second chance in Qatar Airways. So might as well, you just don't want to do and indulge in all these things. Cabin crew of Qatar Airways cannot eat food on jump seat. I mean, you can sit and relax and eat, but not in front of passenger view, and second, during takeoff or landing. Yes guys, the only reason behind these things is that it looks very unprofessional, like if you're sitting in front of a passenger and the passenger is standing, because the seats, the locations of the jump seats are such that they are most of the times in passenger view. However, if you have a jump seat which is situated inside the galley where nobody can see you, you can definitely sit there. Most of the crew I see eating when they're standing and stuff like that, but it is not allowed by the airline to sit and eat food in front of the passengers. Also because imagine if you're eating and they ask you a question or something, and you've got food stuck in your mouth, and passenger definitely cannot wait or whatever, and you try to talk. Or even if, you know, it comes across very unprofessional, because then again you're eating food, you have to take care of your hands, your breath, your food, whatever you're eating, your eating habits, and there are so many things which definitely you cannot correct and come and you know, kind of keep a check off about the habit of probably each and every crew. So therefore, with that reason, keeping professionalism and cabin crew standards and Qatar Airways image in consideration, you're not allowed to eat or consume food on jump seats and in passenger view. Rule number 6 is kind of similar and related to food. Now, I'm sure you all must be thinking, the 5-star airline, there are so many types of meals, amazing 5-star gourmet meals, first class meals, economy meals, tea, coffee of different types, alcohol, and different types of teas. There are dry stores, cookies, cakes, desserts, so many things available on flight. Crew must be enjoy eating that. Yes, to be honest, we do it. But let me tell you, Qatar Airways does not allow you, or it is not allowed, in fact, by any airline, if I remember, but I'm not too sure if the crew does or not. But in Qatar Airways, it is very strict that you cannot eat, or you cannot even take with you, like you should not even have in possession a bottle of water, even a pen or a newspaper, packet of nuts, coffee, even JC class meals. JC class means, I mean, to say business class meals or first class meals or even economy meals. You cannot carry them with you if you're thinking in Doha or in layover. If you think that, oh my God, I don't have this this milk at my home, and I'll take that milk bottle or water bottle because the water in the layover is probably in this country is expensive, or they don't provide enough water, and I will take it. You're not allowed to do all of these things. You're not supposed to take aircraft products, aircraft property, even if it's perishable, back in your hotel or back to your accommodation in Doha. You're not allowed to take any of these dry stores. On the other hand, you're not even allowed to consume any of these dry stores. Reason being the cost. First, of course, in case of business class and first class, these things, the brands that we serve on board are very, very expensive and can be limited, and you never know, on a full flight we may run out of things, and you don't want to explain to the company why you were not able to serve a particular choice or a particular thing to a customer when there were enough things which were catered by the airline. So yes, you don't want to do that, because there are, come on now, not one or two crew, there are 12 crew, sometimes even 25 crew, depending upon the aircraft, and we don't want to be biased to anyone. So the airline has made this rule that the crew will not be consuming or taking any meals or any food or anything which is related to the aircraft should not be in their bags or in possession at any point of time. Now, if you're thinking, what do we actually eat in flight, and how come am I saying that we're not allowed to eat, we're not allowed to do this, but we have seen people doing this. People can do anything, whatever they want, but when there is a problem, when there are investigations and things go wrong, that is when the problem arises, and then there is no looking back. There is no second chances given. Having said that, yes, we do eat economy meals after the service is done. Apart from that, we have a special crew catering. There are special meals which are uplifted for cabin crew. There are salads, there are desserts, there's milk, cereals, everything. There is a different kind of catering which is uplifted for cabin crew. So you don't really need to worry about, oh, we're not able to eat this or eat that. You can carry your dry stores, you carry your coffee, tea, biscuits, whatever you want to eat on flight. In continuation with the topic of food, there's another rule which is comparatively new, but it was introduced by the time I was still in the airline, which is cabin crew is not supposed to bring any heated food, any cooked food, to be specific, something which requires to be heated or warmed up on board, or basically specific meats or non-vegetarian food which when heated can or its presence can create a kind of smell in the environment, or something which in the passenger view might not be that pleasant. Reason being, again, the customers itself. There have been incidents where the crew, specifically who was eating a non-vegetarian dish, tried to heat that on board because he wanted to consume a heated meal, cooked and properly heated meal, but it created a sort of very foul smell, especially when it was done in the business class, because we have a microwave in the business class. It was done there and it created a very foul smell, and we had a passenger complaint about it, and it became a whole lot of issue, which in return brought this memo or a change or a rule to be very precise, that cabin crew will not be carrying any food which needs to be heated, basically cooked food. You can of course carry your own cookies and drinks, things like that, but nothing which needs to be consumed after heating it was done. If you want to carry, yes you can, but things, I hope you understand what I try to say. Things which do not require heating, which like oats or cereals or things like that, with minimal preparation requirements. And also after this, when it was initially introduced, there were so many ifs and buts to this, because initially cabin crew was just not allowed to carry anything, and then it was introduced that a new separate menu with dry stores like probably cereals and different bottles of milk and salads and stuff like that will be uplifted for crew, including whole fruits, so that nobody and nobody's health is going for a toss. Cabin crew cannot accept gifts or tips from any of the customers in flight. Yes, Specifically in Qatar Airways, I've seen that a lot of customers they get really happy with the customer care and the kind of service that we provide on board, and they want to give you a gift or something like a tip in the form of a cash, just to as a token of appreciation, or just to say thank you. It is their way of appreciation and thanking you, so they want to give you a gift. Either they want to buy you something from the duty free on board, or they just want to give you a cash. But according to the company policy, you're not supposed to accept gifts or any of these things in cash. What they ask is that you can actually write us a note or an appreciation letter or something like that to the company, right from the system, or you can also write it on a piece of paper and give it to us. That means most to us, and that is something which can be submitted to the company also, and you also get appreciated for that, and it also goes in your personal file as a record. So yes, tips and gifts are one thing that the company does not allow you to take. Now you must be thinking that there can be different kind of people who must be accepting things. Now see guys, there's always a gray area. You can do whatever you want to do in your life, but there will be just one day or one wrong situation, or can be any other crew or a customer even who notices this. There can be auditors or checkers who are doing this to try to check on you, and if they catch you doing this, there will be no second chances. I'm always repeating this because I know Qatar Airways is very strict with all these policies, and they would not want to hear any explanation on these things. Cabin crew is not allowed to administer insulin to passengers in flight. So for people who are new to the term insulin, let me tell you, insulin is sort of a shot or a medicine in simple terms, which is supposed to be given to a diabetic passenger. Mostly the passenger will be carrying this, and they are supposed to inject themselves with this medicine, and they usually freeze it on flight, and you will see it very often that there are customers who are carrying it on flight, and they give it to the crew to keep it safely in the freezer in a cold condition, basically, because that is the requirement of the medicine. However, it is strictly not allowed for any cabin crew to help administering the injection to the passenger. The main reason and the sole reason being, anything which goes wrong tomorrow, it can backfire to the crew, to the company, and we are not trained to how to inject a customer. Even if we have a nurse or anyone on board, as per company policy, we're not supposed to do it. So we are just not going to touch the insulin. Yes, we can help the passenger with the carrying it, or probably making them comfortable or whatever, but we're not supposed to administer insulin to any passenger. Cabin crew cannot enter the flight deck at any given point of time. Yes, by any given point of time, I don't mean to say that you can just not come there. It's a barrier or a closed door policy or something like that. But to avoid unnecessary time or gossiping or chit chats with the flight deck, the crew wasting their time talking and leaving their zone of safety, their zone of service, and indulging in unnecessary chit chats with the flight deck during the flight time is not allowed. And taking that thing into consideration, the company does not allow just anyone to enter the flight with respect to service or serving them food or anything that the flight deck wants. There is a crew which is designated to take care of the flight deck. It is already in the books who's going to take care of the flight deck service and flight deck needs. That is only one crew, and if that crew is not available, usually the CSD, the senior, the supervisor, these people go into the flight deck if they want to chat, or if they want to probably chat because of professional reasons, not your personal chit chat sessions, because they want to avoid you escaping work or things like that. So you cannot, anyone from economy or for even forward cabin cannot just go into the flight deck, sit without any reason to just go relax, sleep and chit chat. It is not allowed. Cabin crew are not allowed to hold an infant or a small baby in their arms in flight when you're in uniform. Yes guys, the reason being in case of any emergency like turbulence or probably anything which could go wrong if you drop the baby, or the baby gets injured, has an allergy, anything can go wrong with the baby. The mother or the father of the family will not think twice to blame the crew or the company for anything. So to avoid all these things, guys, the company has come up with these rules so that nobody, not the company nor the crew, gets in trouble in flight. So in which case the cabin crew is not allowed to hold the baby. Now you must be thinking, what about if the mother is traveling with the infant alone? What about that case? So yes, guys, you can assist the mother with luggage, with anything. If she wants to use the toilet or restroom, we can take care, like keep an eye on the baby if that baby is secured either in the bassinet or with the seat belt on, but we are not officially allowed to hold the baby, irrespective if you've seen hundreds of crew with pictures of babies in their hands or not. We're not supposed to hold babies in flight. Cabin crew is not allowed to get ready in transport or in hotel lobby area or in any passenger or public view. Yes, guys, now you all know that we have transport provided by the airline to go to the technical building in Doha and also outstation. So to maintain the image of the crew and also of the airline, there are rules like you cannot do makeup inside the bus, inside the crew bus, where there are a lot of other cabin crew available as well. We're not the only one who's going. There are around 15 to 20 crew in that bus at a given point of time. You cannot do your whole makeup, you cannot do your hair and start getting dressed, you know. You come with your jackets off or any of your part of your uniform which you're not supposed to be, you know. There is a kind of standard and a proper code or proper way of getting ready. Any of the things missing and then purposely missing, and then you do that like there are crew who are coming with the hair on, that like loose hair, that I will do my bun in the bus itself, I will do my makeup in the bus itself, 15 minutes are enough for me. It is not allowed. Now you want to call it professionalism or keeping the hygiene of the bus or other crew members, I don't know what it is, but it is what it is. Even outstation, you're supposed to get fully ready and then only come in the lobby, or even in your technical building, you're at all times you're supposed to be in full uniform even after the flight. Now if you think that you're in the hotel and you're reporting for the flight, or you have come back, like landed from a very tiring flight, you're sitting in the lobby and you can undress, like captains removing their ties, or you can remove your jackets and you can open your hair or things like that. No, you're strictly not allowed to do such things again. Why? Because of the image, the brand. You are the brand ambassadors and the company does not want to lose on that. You cannot bring a bad name to the airline. There are a lot of people who are looking up to you, who are looking up to the airline, and you are the face of the airline. So you cannot afford to do all these things. Another relative thing which is of course in continuation to this or quite similar is that you cannot, as a cabin crew in uniform, just be anywhere. Like let me explain this way. There are times that you get your time off, or you've got a lot of time before the flight takes off or something like that, and you're in another country, you get time to go to the duty free and you can grab a sandwich or have a coffee or something. So the airline restricts you from going into places which can be questionable. As per the airline, you cannot be seen or found standing in a bar. Even if you're there just to grab a sandwich or a non-alcoholic drink, you standing in a bar can be questionable, especially in uniform. So they don't want you to be present in uniform in any such places which can again, you know, create a question. And then people, because customers, come on, when the airline is so big, there are people around you who are probably maybe going to travel in your airline, and they don't want to, you know, for them to click pictures and then put it on social media and make stories out of it. Again, it earns a bad name. So it's all kind of connected. Social media policy, you putting pictures, and then cabin crew putting pictures, and then customers putting pictures, and it becomes a whole lot big story. Plus the uniform is there. You can do whatever you want in your personal life, but not this. In uniform, you have to be very careful. Also, careful about the way you stand, the way you talk. You're not slouching, and you're not just very loudly, you're laughing and gossiping, things like that. So you have to be very careful about your body language and code of conduct, even when you're not in flight. So when in uniform, you have to be very careful about all these things. Apart from that, another thing that the company does not allow you is to hug each other or exchange kisses, because in some cultures it's okay to kiss each other, like of course cheek to cheek when they're meeting each other. It is very very normal, but the company does not want any other or any specific kind of image or kind of impression. They don't want to you guys to probably leave an impression, a different kind of impression on the people who are watching you. So to avoid everything, the airline is very very particular about all these things. And in my knowledge, to be honest, I don't really mind following all these rules, because then you know, being a part of the airline for so long, it was just okay with me. Like, I became a person like this because if you know me, if you watch me my videos, you know I'm a very disciplined person, so it was fine with me to do that. You can be whatever in your personal life, but professionally, when in uniform, I don't think so there should be any problem following these rules and regulations. Yes, I know there can be some of the things which can be a little bit too much to follow, but again guys, there's all these things which I told you does not really necessarily get followed like to the point in every flight. There can be deviations a little bit, and there are, of course, crew gets indulged in a few things which are not allowed, but then we always make sure, the company, the seniors, everyone, that nobody gets harmed. It's not harmful for the image of the airline, which is the most important for us or for our teammates or any other cabin crew. We have to be respectful, considerate, and following and having these things into consideration. We do our little exceptions. We have a little bit of a gray area, but again guys, if you there can be just one wrong day and one wrong situation and one wrong timing that you would not get a second chance. So having that said, I will be concluding this video for today. I hope you found this video helpful, you enjoyed watching this video, and if you do, please do not forget to like this video. If you haven't really started following me on Instagram as of yet, I don't know what you're doing, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is right here. I do a lot of question answers, I do a lot of chit chats, we connect better, I do a lot of live sessions. So if you have any question, you can go ahead and ask me there, and I will see you in my next video. Till then, take care and bye bye.